Well, good morning, everyone. When Michael inquired about a title for my message, I very quickly blurted out, "It's a small world," followed by, "There is a reason why." This very old but meaningful Disney song has stayed with me through the years. I had the good fortune to be on the opening team for Walt Disney World. For the grand opening, some family members were invited to take part, and my daughter Diane, who was then 7, was cast as one of the princesses who came to life, ran out of the Small World attraction, and down Main Street. She was very excited, and when we headed home on opening day, she asked what the song really meant. I shared with her that to me, it meant we should always be kind to everyone, no matter who they were or where they were from, because we all share the same feelings and needs, and most importantly, we are all God's children. Over the years, when it seemed to me that the world was spinning out of orbit and things were totally out of control, I would often reflect back and center myself by looking more closely at what I could do wherever I was to share joy and positivity. In other words, focus my direction on perhaps a smaller world. This has most certainly been the case in our current times. So much sadness and anger have replaced goodness and mercy. So once again, I asked the music box in my mind to play this song, and here's how it goes. And no, I'm not going to sing it. Marcos goes, thank heavens. It's a world of laughter, a world of tears. It's a world of hopes and a world of fears. There's so much that we share that it's time we're aware. It's a small world after all. There's just one moon and one golden sun, and a smile means friendship to everyone. Though the mountains divide and the oceans are wide, it is a small world after all. So how and why did I wind up in this beautiful sanctuary this morning speaking to all of you? Michael asked me to share a message on ministry. It's often helpful to know one's background to put the puzzle pieces together, so I hope you won't mind my sharing some of mine with you. I've spent the majority of my life in the tourism hospitality industry. Tourism, obviously, because my family is now in the 76th year of owning Gatorland in Orlando, so obviously the tourism part is pretty natural. It took some real soul searching in the hospitality industry to figure out why I chose that path. To put it quite simply, my own greatest need then and now is to be needed by others. Working hard, I thought I could do some good things for other people to bring of a compliment for me, but most of all to provide a method to perhaps make things more enjoyable for others. My 30-plus years with Hyatt Hotels allowed those opportunities and opened up doors I never dreamed I could walk through. When I partially retired from Hyatt, I moved to Vero, and I found Christ by the Sea. What a great experience that was. While it was a place filled with kind people and outstanding music, it was also a place where I could feel needed. I helped wherever and whenever I could, but my Hyatt family knocked on the door again, and I headed back to Orlando to help for 6 months, which in turn wound up being 3 years. Typical hotel. Then in 2018, I had an epiphany. I had just turned 80 and decided it was time for me to smell the salt air again and come back to Vero. Walking in through our north entrance doors made me feel like I was home again, and my need to be needed kicked into full motion when a few people realized I knew shorthand and I could take committee minutes. Aha! And we all know what's happened in that regard. That was the beginning of what continues today, my affiliation with our Serve Ministry team and our Christian outreaches in general. Serving any community requires true generosity from ordinary people who have chosen to lift up each other. This beloved church is filled with extraordinary people who have chosen the path to give of themselves, whether it's in the form of a few minutes here or there, whenever a need exists, or by becoming part of a team that supports a specific ministry or outreach program, both through personal contact and generosity. Several of the ministries we serve, both domestically and internationally, have endured unimaginable hardships, but the commitment and belief in their overall mission has allowed them to continue leading people to the Lord by providing opportunities, no matter how small they were. Our served ministry leaders are dedicated partners when the times are good and the times are bad. There are numerous scriptures that speak to ministering to others. Hebrews 13, verse 2, encourages Christians to not neglect to show hospitality to strangers. For doing so, some have entertained angels without knowing it. This verse is also a reminder to us all to be kind, welcoming, and generous to others, especially fellow believers who might be unfamiliar or in need. The possibility of having entertained angels without realizing it serves to underscore the importance of this act of kindness. The United Methodist Church is known for being a denomination that opens hearts, opens minds, and opens doors through active engagement with the world. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, "Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing." 2 Timothy 2:2 asks us to use our gifts wisely. God has blessed each of us with unique gifts and talents. These gifts are not just for our benefit, but for the greater good of the community and of the church. Each of your contributions matter. Your serve team perseveres, encourages, and reminds each other that hard times do not diminish our calling, but instead sharpens it. We're so grateful for the support you have provided our ministries throughout the years. Among our ministries or outreaches are Beachland Elementary, Habitat for Humanity, the Special Gathering, Operation Christmas Child, Canned Soup Collection for the Soup Bowl, the Giving Tree, Christians Clothing Children, the Hope for Family Center, Bethel Computers for Education, the Source, our beloved sister church in Cuba, the Indian River County Veterans Council, Shining Light Garden, and our food pantry. You saw the video earlier this morning on a wonderful new ministry led by Heather and Linda, entitled Comfort by the Sea. Please stop by not the narthex, but Ratcliffe Hall this morning and learn more about the prayer shawls, see some of the beautiful work that they have done, and how you can help with any of our ministries. Carla Boardman and Kathy Peterson will also have information in Ratcliffe on the Hope for Family Center. Sometimes as a church, we all have to stop and rediscover the resources we already have. An example is our Loose Change campaign, which was the brainstorm of Betty Sammartino. Betty suggested a positive way to shift pocket change from purses, pockets, or maybe even a few piggy banks. That outreach alone has provided hundreds of dollars, both in change and in bills, as donations for chosen recipients. The Band of Brothers just shared $90 from their recent get-together for our current recipient, the Gifford Academy for Performing Arts. And of course, very near and dear to me personally, after our service, is the hospitality ministry in Ratcliffe, where we try to provide a warm and caring atmosphere for everyone, plus some pretty good treats and great fellowship. This hospitality time would not be possible without the outstanding support in the kitchen from Cookie Mountain, Joe Locker, Richard Condon, as well as Diane Keeler and our other loyal volunteers who clean up afterward. Just in case you didn't know, Cookie's known for her cookies. They definitely have a following of their own, so you better enjoy some today because she's going to be leaving us on Tuesday for another month-long trip. At this time, I would appreciate it if all of our ministry leaders would stand so they could be recognized, just in case you don't know them all. Please stand up. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. It's not a time to be shy. Thank you very much. And we left the video where Habitat was concerned with Howard's picture in it. Howard Leary gave so much of his life to the work at Habitat. And just in honor of him, we did not want to delete that. We wanted to keep that in the video, just so you know. So how can you help keep our ministry and our outreach efforts moving forward? Well, we're all called to serve others in different capacities. Ministry work is not confined to the pulpit. It happens in our homes, community, and anytime people are gathered together. I invite each of you today to share your expertise and talents by teaching and sharing with others. When we support each other, we are blessed by being a blessing. I also encourage anyone who's interested to attend a Serve Team meeting and see what we're about. You're always welcome to attend. We meet the second Tuesday of each month at 1 o'clock in the Great Twig Conference Room. No commitment needed. We would just appreciate any of your help or attendance anytime you're available. I also share special thoughts at our meetings that make us kind of stop and think, or sometimes just provides food for thought. Michael had suggested that I share a few with you this morning, so here are some of them. Combine passionate drive with humility. Do everything with a good heart. Expect nothing in return, and you'll never be disappointed. Nobody can stop you when your mind, your body, and your soul align. Never forget that success is achieved through the small, intentional actions we take every day. Consistency is what separates average outcomes from extraordinary ones. And the final one comes from Tony Zorba, the executive director of The Source. If we dream enough, hope and pray enough, believe enough, and do enough, our expectations of positive outcomes will happen. That has definitely come to fruition for this church, as well as for Tony and the members of The Source. The partnerships they have created within our community to provide quality resources to turn lives around is absolutely remarkable. And the same applies to the leadership of Marty Mercado at the Hope for Family Center. Both of these dynamic leaders have accomplished what they promised their supporters they would do. I hope you'll continue to support our ministry and outreach programs, and I encourage each of you to step up and take part. Set your own time frames. Every minute you give will come back to you twofold. Thank you for allowing me to share this time with you. The closing hymn I also chose has been another very much favorite of mine. It originated as an African-American spiritual, and John Oxenham turned it into a hymn based on Galatians 3, verse 28, which challenges us to see beyond borders and human-made identities and to imagine how Christ brings all of humanity together. No matter where I was or what challenges presented themselves, I would try to remember that we are all the same in God's eyes and that the fellowship of love does exist everywhere as long as we are open to seeing it from a whole world perspective or from my own small world.